What's up, everybody? It's Galmadex, and welcome to a Treasure Constructed event. So Treasure Constructed is the format in which, at the beginning of each of your upkeeps, you get a treasure token that you can sack for any color of mana. So I think the best things you can do in this format is probably just play your really powerful, whatever your best standard deck is, minus a couple lands, plus a couple something else. So like if you're mono red, I would definitely say just like cut 1 or 2 lands because you have all these treasure tokens you can use, and throw in a couple Banefire because you've got all these treasure tokens you can use that will start accumulating late game if you get to that point where you run out of resources. So yeah, I think every deck has something like that you could just take out a couple lands, maybe put in some kind of X spells or something like that. The deck that I'm going to be using today is basically just mono green Stompy, but with 4 Karns and 2 Rampage of the Clans. So Rampage of the Clans I do not think is actually going to be that good, but it's hilarious, so I'm playing it anyway. So Karn, I think, is really good in this format. If you ever get to a situation where you don't need all of the tokens, you just let them sit there and accumulate, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of artifacts on your field. So when you play Karn, you're just using his -2 to make these XX artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of artifacts you control. So yeah, they just get +1/+1 for each treasure token you control, so they get really big really fast. So I'm running the full playset of Karn because I did already own 3 Karn just from getting lucky from opening packs and stuff. So I just spent like 1 mythic wildcard to have the full playset, because I think that if I draw a second copy of Karn, then it's like I'm already in such a winning position, it's really not that big of a drawback to lose one of the Karns, because I'm only using the minus mainly anyway, so drawing another Karn is just like an instant refuel and playing another token. Rampage of the Clans is funny. You destroy all of the treasure tokens, and everybody gets a 3/3 centaur for each treasure you control. So like this could potentially be a big game ender, if your opponent starts like really aggressively and just spends all of their treasure tokens immediately on something good. Then you could just be like, on turn 4, you could just be like, bam, I have 4 3/3s, which is cute. I don't think this is that great. I just think it's really funny. And that's basically why it's in there. So anyways, let's just hop into the games here and see how it goes. So the events are completely free, so I definitely recommend hopping in and trying it out. As I said before, I think the best thing you can really do is just play your regular, most powerful standard deck. I don't think there's anything that insanely powerful, specifically because of the treasure tokens. I think Revel in Riches would be cool. It's a 5-mana enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. You win the game if you have 10 or more treasures. So that would definitely be cool. There's a lot of cool things that you can do, but I still don't think that they're like the best things, just because the aggressive decks are so good in Standard in general that when you speed them up this much by just giving them an additional mana every turn, they're just blisteringly fast. Just like in Cascade Constructed, I think the aggressive decks are really going to leave any kind of insane brewing out of the format for the most part. So we are against mono white here. I actually do want to spend this token. We're just going 2 1-drops on turn 1. So I'm putting the Pelt Collector out, that way next turn, whatever I play, the Pelt Collector is going to get bigger. Opponent starts with a turn 2 Banalish Marshal, because this format's insane. Ooh, Ghalta. We don't have a lot of interaction because we're mono green. So that Banalish Marshal is going to be a pretty big problem. I think we just try and play bigger dudes. We could just play a 3/2 here, and then they can't really attack into that very well. Going past the turn here. I don't think they're going to be playing enough flyers for us to really get value out of the Kraul Harpooner. They could be playing the 5/5 Angel, in which case Harpooners would be really good later, but if they're just playing like the 2/1 that gets flying if they ascend, then I'm fine with just playing the Harpooner out. So here's a Tithe Taker from our opponent. Double Tithe Taker. Alright, so we can play Steel Leaf Champion. We can play Biogenic Ooze. We don't really know if they have removal. I don't have anything good enough at this point that they would have spent removal on it. I could, like, spend 3 mana for a Steel Leaf Champion and spend treasure on a Ghalta in the same turn. That seems like a pretty big play. That just, like, forces them to have removal. The only problem with this is now I can't Biogenic Ooze next turn after they spend a removal spell on Ghalta. If I attack with Pelt Collector, I either trade with 2 of their creatures or the Manalish Marshal. I think that's actually fine. They're just going to take the 4. So they definitely have something to kill Ghalta, I'm assuming. We'll see. If they don't, that's awesome. Oh, just another Manalish Marshal. Nice! Ghalta gets to survive. And that's the scoop, because Ghalta resolved. Stayed on the board. Well, that was unexpected. Very unexpected. I really was just ready for the Conclave Tribunal from our opponent. Man. Alright, well. We got to make a pretty big play that turn. Steel Leaf Champion and Ghalta in the same turn. Pretty nice. Alright, next game we got our Karn, we've got the tech. I will go ahead and keep this. I definitely hope my opponent is on, like, mono blue. That's what I hope whenever I draw Kraul Harpooner. That's why it's in here, is literally just for, like, mono blue. It's really good against mono blue, and everything else is just like, okay, it's a 2-mana 3/2, that's whatever. I think I'm actually just going to play it on curve. So all we know right now is our opponent is at least blue and black. They might be a control deck, because those seem to be pretty controlling colors. They could also just be one of those fun decks with, like, Deadeye Plunderers, just because all the treasure tokens. Alright, well this is weird. So they have Atrata, which is just like a removal spell. It can't be blocked. When it damages a player, exile a creature and put a hit counter on the card. Then shuffle it back into the library. So it only gets to hit me once and it just exiles one of my dudes. I think I just play Kraul Harpooner. So, alright. I think next turn I'm going to Steel Champion, and then if they've spent all of their treasure, I'll Rampage of the Clans on turn 4, and if they haven't, I will Karn on turn 4. That is if I draw another forest next turn or the turn after. But those are both really fun plays, depending on what they do. Darkblade Agent. Okay, so my opponent seems to be just like a casual Dimir deck. This is cool. So, yeah, we're just going to play Steel Leaf Champion and see if they take this opportunity to use a Atrata on it. That way I can maybe have a creature that survives later. So here's the moment of truth. We're going to see if they spend their treasure token or not. And if they spend it, I'm going to make 3/3 Centaurs. Oh my god, they spent it! Oh, let's do it. Alright, we're discarding the Vivien Reid. I mean, actually... No, this is so lame! I just want to make Centaurs so bad. I'm going to discard the Harpooner. I'm saving the Vivien Reid because Vivien Reid to kill Disinformation campaign would be really good. The best play next turn is to just play Forest, play Vivien Reid, sack 1 treasure, kill Disinformation campaign. We should really kill the Disinformation campaign while we still can. Oh wait, no, this kills enchantments too! It doesn't just kill treasure tokens. I'm so dumb! I'm so dumb, guys. Alright. The tech! Alright, get the Get the disinformation out of here. We did it. So guys, we did it. Yep. I completely forgot that it hit enchantments, and then I was like, why? I'm gonna have to play Vivien Reid instead of that, just to kill the disinformation campaign. And then I was like, wait, it kills disinformation campaign. Alright, we're trading our 3-2 for the 3-3. And now it is 1-2-3 and 2 lands versus 4 3-3s and 4 lands. Opponent is pretty mana screwed. Luckily, this is treasure constructed, so that's not as bad as usual. They're still getting to cast spells every turn so far. Thanks to the treasures. They just aren't casting spells nearly as big as I assume they want to. Alright. Well, that was a turn. We made centaurs. That is a thing that we did. So opponent charts a course, discards Amphitic Vapors, and scoops! 4 3-3s is too many centaurs for them. Alright, 2 wins in. See if we can get there with Stompy plus centaurs and Karn. We'll see if we can get there. That was fun. I was not expecting to get any value out of the Rampage of the Clans because I completely forgot about the second part of the ability. I also wasn't expecting to ever be able to just make 4 3-3s out of it. But it happened. It definitely happened. Alright, this hand is okay. The treasure tokens definitely help the hand a lot. Just make sure we can play all this stuff eventually. So we will see what our opponent is up to here. So I think I'm just going to play, depending on what they do here. Alright, so Hollowed Fountain. If that's the case, I'm not going to turn 1 Branchwalker. I think turn 2 Nullhide Ferox could be really good against their deck, hoping that their control... And then we just won't play any other creatures. Alright, so they are Esper control. However, they do have 3 mana out now, so this is a problem. They could absorb our Ferox. God, the treasure tokens are going to make it so hard to play around anything. That's just basically impossible to play around anything ever. Like, if I Ferox and they counter it, at least I've gotten rid of their treasure tokens, but then they just get them back so fast. I think I'm just going to play Branchwalker. Alright, that was the right play, because it held on their turn for a second, which means they have something at instant speed that costs 3 mana or less, which means they probably just have a counterspell. They probably have Absorb. Alright, another treasure. That, or they put it on full control mode, you never know. Now they just have 1,000,000 mana. I'm gonna go and attack before anything else. So if things weren't suspicious before, now they just have 6 mana held up, so that's very suspicious. Yeah, I mean, they know about the Ooze. They're definitely going to counter it. I don't really have any low-value cards to play to try to get them to not counter things. So we'll just go for it. Like, we're just getting rid of the counterspell here. That's all we're doing. I would be very surprised if they don't counter this. They don't counter it. Interesting. They must have... They must have, like, a Kaya's Wrath. Or a Cry of the Carnarium. clear out the rest of the creatures. Then they can save the counterspell. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just lose. Oh, alright. Well, I mean, if they don't have Kaya's Wrath or Cry of the Carnarium, we might be able to just outvalue them by making them spend a removal spell on both of these creatures. I would be surprised if they're running Settle the Wreckage, but maybe they are. There's Revitalize. Looks like just a Revitalize from opponents. I really don't want to like run into a Wrath here. At the same time, they almost definitely have a counter from how they've been playing. So I can't just like play Vivien Reid to play around a Wrath, because then I'm not playing around a counter. Let's just play the dude that we're like less worried about losing. Actually, you know what? We're fine. If they don't kill the 3/2 and the 2/2, we have threats on board. We don't need to put anything else on board. I hate control so much, because if I just don't play around anything, I get destroyed. And if I try to play around stuff, then I play around too much stuff and I just get destroyed. I think that Esper control is just a very irritating deck. Alright. Let's attack with everybody. And see what they do. They've just got like 50,000 mana for the rest of the game. Chemist's Insights. There's no way it is humanly possible for them to not Wrath. They still have 6 mana up. I mean... now I can try to cast Vivien without having to spend any of my artifacts. Without having to spend any of my treasures, I should say. Nothing.
Every fight makes me stronger.
I could use her minus to destroy one of their treasures.
I've seen things
That's hilarious.
that would break someone like you.
Both of these are insanely powerful if they let them resolve. Pick up the Ooze. Vraska's Contempt on...
let's do this again.
On Vivien Reid. Well, with the way they're playing, they must have... they must be like a Revel in Riches deck. Because I don't know why they wouldn't have just... spent the treasures earlier and just done that during my turn. That way, during their turn, they can use something else to kill these guys. Here's the Ooze. Here comes a counter. Spend one of their treasures? No. They are just not spending those treasures. Good game, they say. Is that... are they scooping? Or are they gonna kill me? I don't know what to do? I don't know if I'm supposed to respond with good game. I'm so confused right now. Did they just not draw a Wrath all game? Spend all my treasures. We're going all in. If they're spending a targeted removal right now, I don't think they have a Wrath. Wow, my opponent... If this is legitimately good game, then my opponent drew just awfully, and I feel pretty bad. I mean, I feel bad and not bad at the same time, because they are... Esper control. I don't know what the good game was about. Maybe they just, like... Maybe they're like, the fact that they don't have a Wrath just means that... Yeah, I think it's just because they didn't have a Wrath the whole time, so the fact that they had to spend that much targeted removal to... just to survive... means that they probably just lose. Because now they're at 2... And even if they get a Wrath, I get to just drop down a Ferox, which is then, like, really unlikely. Yeah, my opponent is just straight up, like, the full list. They've got Absorbs in there, they've got Search for Ghalta, and they just haven't drawn the Wrath. I was wondering if they were, like, a budget build, they just don't have all the cards for it. Ooh, Cry the Carnarium. Alright, well... I mean, yeah, that doesn't do it, because they do still have to kill 2 more things. Alright. Well, that was insane. That was insane. I genuinely don't think I have ever played against a Esper control opponent that drew worse than that. That's not true. They probably got mana screwed at some point, but I just don't remember those kinds of games because they're really forgettable. But that was like a memorably bad draws for my opponent. Alright, well, I don't know what they're playing, so I don't want to spend this token. Because these Karns could be super gas. Oh, they're playing red. Should have spent the token. Should have spent the token! Made a blocker as soon as possible. Because Karn will just die immediately. Get to Lava Runner. Alright, I think we're just going to Branchwalker next turn. Just to try to draw into... Explore into something good. And the problem with this play is then, if I explore into just a land and they have a Chain Whirler, their next turn is going to be really good. Yeah, maybe I just Harpooner. Because then they have to, like, use a targeted removal. Even if they just Chain Whirler next turn immediately, then we're still fine. Because, like, if they have a Chain Whirler in hand, or they draw a Chain Whirler, no matter what, they can cast it, because they have a treasure right there, and they'll get a treasure next turn. So it looks like they'd rather spend the treasure and shoot the Harpooner. Alright, coming at me for 1, probably 2. Nope, no instants or sorceries yet. Light up the stage. Into the Chain Whirler and a Mountain. Viashino Pyromancer. Alright, so next turn they just, like, get a treasure token, play Chain Whirler. And that's probably the turn. They might have a Mountain into a 1-drop. But odds are... there will be a Chain Whirler coming out next turn, so... don't play anything that's only going to have, like, 1 toughness. Kind of want to just, like, drop out the Ferox. Yeah, these cards are going to have to wait, I think, until we're in a position where I know that they're not just going to get destroyed immediately. So now I'm trying to decide if I want to Pelt Collector and Nullhide Ferox, or if I just want to Nullhide Ferox. Like, if I Pelt Collector and Ferox... Then I have a 2/2 out, so they just probably throw like a target removal at it, but this Ferox is definitely just going to stay out and try to block all their stuff. But then I lose like all of the treasure, so I can't make anything giant out of Karn later. Yeah. Let's go Pelt Collector and Nullhide Ferox. We'll do both. Got so close on time there. Did you see that? I don't have any hourglasses. I don't have any time extensions. Yeah, we're going to do that just to have as many blockers as possible. They have to spend an extra card to kill Pelt Collector. They don't just kill it off Chain Whirler itself. So we're fine. Viashino Pyromancer. So Chain Whirler is just going to stay exiled. And a shock on the Pelt Collector. Okay. Alright, well, Branchwalker here. Into a Llanowar Elves. Get that out of here. Oops. Oops. That's fine. Llanowar Elves isn't like a terrible draw. It is pretty bad, though. I meant to send it to the graveyard, but I just mind farted. Another Pyromancer. This is a lot of Pyromancers. Yeah, I mean, keeping Llanowar Elves on top is actually kind of a big deal, but just don't want to be pessimistic about it. It happened. It is what it is. We're just gonna keep going here. Why can't I cast Karn? Oh, because Nullhide Ferox. Never mind. I forgot about his second ability. That's okay, because I'm not planning to cast Karn anytime soon regardless. I was just confused why they weren't highlighted. Yeah, we'll turn one of the tokens into a Llanowar Elf. Turn one of the temporary mana tokens into permanent mana. At least until we get Chain Whirlered again. I guess we've only seen one Chain Whirler. There's the second one. So there goes Llanowar Elves. Thorn Lieutenant. Well, he's getting out there. I'm actually just going to play all my creatures here. Oh, shit. I was about to say, the only thing that I think we have to worry about at this point is like an experimental frenzy. Otherwise, we are completely fine. But they got the experimental frenzy, so things are about to start going pretty bad here. Still can't really attack because I'm at 12. Biggest guy. I know I can send him in. Like, if worst case scenario he dies, like they block with a Chain Whirler and spend 4 mana to turn off the Hexproof and throw something at him, then you just play a Karn next turn now. And if they triple block with Pyromancers, that's totally fine with me. Now we're just worried about them burning me in the face. But we can just, like, die out of nowhere, thanks to Experimental Frenzy, so that is a big problem. We're at 12, they only need to have 4 3-mana, or 4 3-damage burn spells, and we're screwed. But hopefully they just, like, keep drawing creatures, because creatures we can definitely deal with. Especially if I just, like, draw a forest next turn, then we're just going crazy. And I might even be able to convince them to spend a burn spell on a Karn. Which is totally fine. Because, like, worst case scenario, if they burn Karn immediately, I just spent 4 mana for a 4/4. Which is super fine, especially next turn. Next turn is going to be great instead of fine. We'll send one of them in. No blocks. So obviously, best case scenario with the Karn is awesome, because then I just got 2 5/5s out of it. Alright, they are doing the burn spells to the face plan, which is pretty spooky. And now they have the Steamkin mana. So if they get, like, really lucky and hit 3 more 1-mana cards, or 3 more cards they can spend with all this, then we're really dead. We need them to hit another land.
This will not deter me.
I think they hit another land. Alright, that's good. We have a turn, at least. But now I can't even, like, really attack, which is really sad.
Awaken.
We're at 5. We're just, like, dead to removal. Or, to burn. Do we just play Ghalta? I kind of want to play Karn, because then I have 3 7/7s. But I could also just play Ghalta. Am I attacking with anybody? Probably not, right? Like, if I attack with 1 7/7, I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 blockers. They've got 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, I think I can afford to attack with 1 7/7.
I battle for the forces of good. There is great power in the things we make.
Alright. I think we're at like a 95% chance to just die right now. We'll find out. Lava Runner. Mountain. They have like 10 mana. They can spend 4 mana to destroy the Frenzy, and then they still have 6 mana for whatever's in their hand as well. Would be tremendously surprised if we're not dead right now. Like, maybe they're just like toying with us at this point? Because I feel like we're dead.
Some solutions must be built.
How are we not dead? Maybe they need slightly more than 6 mana. Oh, I think they accidentally didn't block one of my things. I do not think we should have won that game. I think that was a misclick, and I was about to die because they were probably going to destroy Experimental Frenzy and then kill me with the stuff in their hand. Next turn? Well, that's awkward. Wow, well, I have received 2 wins that I completely didn't earn. The win against the Esper control deck, and then the win against that burn deck there. I should have been dead to that Experimental Frenzy. That was not fair magic, but it did give me the win. So, can I really complain that much? I mean, I can complain, and I will complain. That was sad. Anyways, next round here, let's find out what our opponent is playing. Oh! Mono green Stompy mirror match? Ooh, alright. This is nice. I'm excited. So I think if they're not playing a playset of Karn, then we have the edge in the mirror. Not if we draw double Vivien Reid. That's like the most awkward thing we could possibly draw. But that's okay. That's okay. I think we'll get there. Vivien's still real good. Even against just mono green, we still just use her to draw a card every turn. So let's see. They attack with the Harpooner. I'm good to trade. Do you have pump spells in your deck? Are you one of those decks? Nope, no pump spell. Trade. Steel Leaf Champion. We're gonna take some damage. Or not. It's probably better to just Growth Chamber Guardian. And then we present the trade with Growth Chamber Guardian to Steel Leaf. Carnage Tyrant is a good play as well. It might be the better play, I'm not sure. It's really close, in my opinion. Could drop another Growth Chamber Guardian right now, actually, but I'm not going to do that. Because I like my treasure tokens. If I ever draw a Karn... Honestly, the Karns in here might have just like made the deck worse. Like, maybe I'm supposed to just play Growth Chamber Guardian there. I probably am, but I'm like in love with the treasure tokens. Ooh, opponent is not mono green. They choose Warrior on unclaimed territory. What am I playing against? Are they Gruul? They're probably Gruul, right? Just green-red? Green-red beats? Oh yeah, they have treasure tokens. Alright, they do have Colossus. They are the green-red Stompy version. Well, we got rid of one of the Colossus. And that made Growth Chamber Guardian way better than playing Carnage Tyrant. Carnage Tyrant would have been awful in that spot. That would have been very sad. Alright, second Growth Chamber Guardian. And we'll see what they do here. Stomping Ground, take the damage. Lava Coil, the Guardian. So I'm taking 5. This could be real bad. There's the Gruul Spellbreaker. Giving it haste. Alright, well, we're probably just dead. If they have Colossus in hand, we're dead. So we're probably about to get double Colossus. God, now we're just dead to so many things. Like, I think the safest thing is to just drop out a Carnage Tyrant and block the Steel Leaf Champion, but then we're still taking a minimum of 3. If they have Colossus, we're immediately dead. If we play Growth Chamber Guardian and upgrade it, we can make the same block. Yeah, an upgraded Growth Chamber Guardian makes the same block as Carnage Tyrant does. Like, because we're dead to Colossus either way. Because then they can just Colossus Spellbreaker, and we're dead. So why not have the smaller creature die? if we're in a position to survive. Like, because I guess the other way, like, we could technically survive a Colossus if we chump blocked Spellbreaker with the 2/2. Maybe. Alright. So... no Colossus. Sweet! It's just lands. Oh my god. Alright. Can we stabilize? Biogenic Ooze will do that. Right? Right? That's the best thing we can do? I feel like Biogenic Ooze is the best thing we can do here. This Rampage of the Clans is just awful. This is not the game for it. Just scooch it on over. Vivien is definitely not the play right now. It's Ooze or Carnage Tyrant. I like Ooze better. It gives us more creatures. And if they attack with Spellbreaker, we're just trading for Pelt Collector. If we play Carnage Tyrant, it does give us a hexproof creature, so they can't just, like, Lightning Strike it, but I feel like if they get a Lightning Strike, they're just gonna Lightning Strike our face anyway. Alright, there's the scoop! I do think Carnage Tyrant's the safer play, because then we have a 4/4 and a 7/6 hexproof. That's a lot harder to get through. But the Biogenic Ooze... I don't know, I just like having more creatures out just in case their field expands. I probably should have just cast Carnage Tyrant. Either way, that was a really lucky treasure constructed, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm glad I got so lucky, because honestly, treasure constructed seems to me like it's just... it's basically just regular standard, but faster, which is kind of terrifying. But it is the same format. It's just spookily fast. So yeah, it is a format that I, in general, have gotten bored of lately. I don't play that much constructed. I just feel like I've played against mono red, mono green, Esper, green red, Simic Nexus. I've played against like all of the stuff a lot. I probably just played too much standard. Anyway, let's stop being pessimistic. We just won. We got our card styles for Skewer the Critics and Chemister's Insight. Well, thank you all for watching. If you play the format, I don't really know what I recommend. I probably just recommend making a really good standard deck and taking it to Treasure Constructed. Don't change things up too much. Maybe cut a land or two. Maybe throw in a couple Karns, because Karn's cool, but he actually did not do like a gigantic amount. He did win the game against Mono Red, but I think that was like... I think that we still would have lost that game if my opponent didn't misclick, so technically he didn't really win any games, I don't think. But it was cool. So thank you everybody for watching. I'll definitely see you again tomorrow for more Magic Arena. Probably a ranked draft, of course, at 2019. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.